the years, our family's had its share of health problems.
So prescriptions are a part of our life.
Before we went to the big box store.
We both thought it would help us save. But with the long lines and impersonal service, filling prescriptions became a chore. That's when a friend recommended D&H.
Now Tristan knows our prescriptions. Brenda always helps us find the right vitamins. And after Dad's fall, Monica's been a real expert with all our home medical needs. All without the lines.
Trust and service.
That's our D&H.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, December the 24th, Christmas Eve. Thank you for putting 10 minutes aside to spend with us this morning. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas Eve and a great Christmas day. But Larry Brown, my friend, is over here. Singer, songwriter, storyteller.
By listening to the show this morning, that gets everybody on the nice list.
Yeah, everybody's on the nice list. Everybody's on the nice list. So today, I say singer, songwriter, storyteller. Today you're a storyteller, right?
Story.
And it's a Christmas story?
It is well, of course it's a Christmas story.
Okay. So how about you get right into it? Here's Larry Brown with a Christmas story.
Sally said to her daughter Anna, "Be careful with that ornament. It's my oldest ornament." And little Anna held it carefully as she placed it on the tree. It was a little Santa, but a kind of an unusual Santa. It was round but sort of flat. And well, Santa had a nice smile and had a backpack on. So Anna carefully put it on the tree. And Anna says, "Where did you get that, Mommy?" She says, "Well, my grandmother gave me that ornament." Well, actually, it was on the top of a present that my grandmother gave me, and I've used it as an ornament for all these years. That night, Anna awoke, crying, and Sally rushed to her side and says, "What's wrong?" And Anna says, I saw these flames and people yelling and screaming, and it was dark, and there was the little Santa. And Sally said, "It's okay, Anna. It was just a dream." About 65 years earlier, Ruriko Kondo had come home that evening, and out of her satchel she pulled a little plastic object which she showed her daughter Sadako. And Sadako says, "What is it? What is it?" "Well, we make it at the factory. It's a plastic toy, but I think this is a Christmas ornament. It'll go somewhere in the United States and they'll put it on a tree." And Sadako says, "Well, it kind of looks funny." She says, "Oh, it's funny, but I'm sure it will bring delight to some little child somewhere." Sally and Anna celebrating Christmas at home. Christmas Eve passed. Christmas morning came. Anna got up to greet the rest of the family who were there at the tree, and they began to open presents. But Anna, instead of running to the presents, ran to the tree, plucked down the little ornament, and took it over to Akiko, a Japanese exchange student that was staying with them. And as she gave that little Santa ornament to Akiko, Akiko began to cry. Sally came over and says, "What is it? What is it?" And she said, I know this ornament." As Sally tried to comfort her, she says, "How do you know this ornament?" I think it's like one that my grandmother told me about." Well, Sally was a bit uncomfortable. It was her favorite ornament, and she couldn't just give it to Akiko, but she didn't want to take it from her. And at that moment, Anna came running up, and Anna said, "I gave it to Akiko because I had the dream again last night, but this time Akiko was in the dream, and she was holding the little Santa. That's why I took it to her this morning." A few days later, Sally went to that old antique store over on Walnut Street, and she went up to the manager of the store and says, "Do you have someone here that could tell me about plastic toys that were made in occupied Japan right after World War II?" Well, the owner said that would be Margaret. And Margaret came up, and sure enough, they got on the computer. And what about this? She says, "Well, it's a little plastic ornament, and I think it maybe came from Matsuyama." Oh, and the lady checked on the computer, and she says, "Oh, here it is." And she turned around the screen and says, "Yes, there was a Matsuyama Plastic Works, and they produced little plastic toys between 1947 and 1952. I've got some pictures here." And as she looked at the screen, she said, "There it is. There it is. That's what I want." Well, Margaret at the store says, "Well, if it's in really good condition, it might be worth as much as $25. It was made of an early plastic, a kind of a celluloid, but Sally says, "Oh no, I'm not interested in selling it. I just wanted to find out where it came from." And Sally immediately went home, and there she gathered Akiko and Anna, and she said, "Akiko, what do you know about the Matsuyama Plastic Works?" And Akiko says, "That's it. That's the factory where my great-grandmother worked. They fled from Hiroshima right after the war across the inland sea to Matsuyama. She'd gotten a job at the plastic works, and my grandmother told me that when she was a little girl, my grandmother Sadako, that her mother would bring home occasionally the little plastic toys that she made at the factory just to get a look, and then she'd have to put them back in her satchel and sneak them back into the factory the next day. Oh, my grandmother Sadako used to say that all those little toys would brighten their sad days." And Sally and Anna and Akiko looked at each other, and Sally said, "Well, it has brightened our day." Now, Paul, I have.
Oh my. Is this one of the little toys?
This is the toy, and if you'll notice on the back.
Okay, if you got to take a look at this, go to kbia.org and watch the vodcast, okay?
And on the back it says, "Made in occupied Japan," down at the bottom.
Oh my. Oh, it does, right there.
Yeah.
Made in occupied Japan.
Yeah.
So this story is a true story?
Well, the story is a story that I created on the basis of having been given this ornament by my grandmother.
That's a beautiful story, Larry.
It's called The Ornament.
The ornament. And ornaments have such special meanings when you look back at them. I've got so many ornaments that I have saved from my little boy. My mother had kept all the ornaments. She never threw anything away. And I remember one year, 1952 it was, we had bought a can of that snow that you sprayed.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, yes.
Well, we put the tree up. We had the ornaments up, and I started spraying the tree with that snow, and it got all over. I remember my mother got very upset with me. She took that can of snow away, and she said, "Never again, never again." Every year, I put up one tree up in the loft, which I call my mom's tree,
Yes.
with all of the ornaments from my childhood, and there's still particles of that
spray still
of
on
that
them.
spray snow,
Of
and it
course.
takes me back to 1952.
That's what ornaments do. They make those connections across time and space. And
And they're priceless to me.
Oh,
Priceless.
yeah.
Larry, thank you so much for coming by, sharing the story, especially with us on Christmas Eve. I wish you and your family a very, very Merry Christmas.
And the same to you, Paul.
Yeah. If people want to get in touch with you, they can do that by
brownstory@hotmail.com.
Okay, brownstory@hotmail.com. It's always a pleasure to have you with us, especially on Christmas Eve. It's kind of become a tradition. Tomorrow, and that special little ornament. Tomorrow, Kathy and Dave will be singing a beautiful Christmas song for us. Have yourself a nice day. If you're going to be driving, be careful. See you tomorrow morning.